Hi, I'm Noelle Chris, and I'm the lead permit specialist here at Wolf Industries.
Hi, I'm Daniel Lang. I head up the engineering department here at Wolf Industries.
Today we're going to talk to you about why you should choose Wolf Industries for your multi-unit projects. So we have a client that walks in and say, oh, I've got this piece of property, I really want to do something with it. What's the first step we would take here at Wolf?
Well, the first step would be, how much time do you got? In your feasibility, we don't want them spending money without knowing, in advance what's going to be, attached to that property, good or bad.
Right. So we look at things like, what zone it's in, what jurisdiction it's in, maybe even some projects that have happened similar to what they're wanting. What other items do you start discussing with the customer once they've expressed their wishes, their desires, their dreams?
Well, there's some big ticket items we look for, which would be types of, what's the slope on the project? What are the wetlands, streams? And then once we've established, okay, we're good with that, then we start looking for the utilities. How far away is your sewer? Where's your stormwater going to go? And looking at any other, issues that might cause, problems with where they can build and how much of the site is available to build on.
Right. And then from there, assuming they are still excited about the project and they would like to move forward, I typically start jumping in and I start preparing items for our pre-application, where we sit down with the jurisdiction and they tell us all the elements that we need to consider when building a project of whatever scale that the customer is requesting, and that helps also give a good picture as to maybe what they're looking at financially as well. But one of the big perks is that once we do that pre-app and we know what to do, we handle a lot of that in-house.
Correct. We hand it off to the next department or work together.
Yeah. So on previous projects that we've had, we haven't always had Wolf handle everything. This is kind of a fairly recent development, but on previous projects, what were some of the challenges that we would have?
Projects sitting on somebody's desk somewhere, not being able to pivot quick as things come up or answer questions in a day. 3 days a week makes a big difference when you've got the check ready to sign, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And also just waiting on knowing what's happening, having those updates, what's coming up, being able to directly work with the jurisdiction on your own project is such a time saver.
It really is.
That coordination, and it really can't be beat.
Correct.
So any other project where you're having to hire out different, disciplines, entities to keep your project going, you're going to have to hire a separate engineer. You may even have to hire a separate land use planner. You then have to hire your excavation crew. You have to hire your geotech, your wetland scientist, whoever you need, can all come from separate companies. And having it all under one roof is so beneficial to the client. Not only are we on top of what's happening, we can manage those costs a lot better, but we also keep the customer updated, so you feel like you know exactly what's happening with your project and you feel like a partnership in this project as well.
Yeah, even with the most well-intentioned, third party, you've got 4 different, people or entities involved, and it just takes time. It's no matter what. I mean, how many emails can you answer in a day?
Exactly.
And it could be very, very time sensitive.
Yes, I mean, think about how many emails we receive in a day, and imagine that coming from multiple places. Things are going to get buried, things are going to get missed, things are going to fall through the cracks. Whereas here, when it's all under one roof, it minimizes how many sources of communication are coming in, and also, if I need something from you or you need something from me, we can just walk down the hall and say, hey, what are we doing with this, or what's our game plan with this? And so it's just that really quick turnaround.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
Obviously, another big perk of doing your large projects or development through Wolf is not only do we also build the project that we're developing and planning and getting permitted for you, but then we also manage the site work side of it. So we have dedicated project managers here at Wolf that really keep that process, that smooth, streamlined process going. Kendall is one of our primary project managers that works on our projects, and he runs them like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, and once it gets through the engineering, and we're seeing it already, Kendall's running stuff from taking the engineering sets, the approved plans, and doing, material takeoffs and, it's seamless, and he can call one of us.
Yeah, and he probably has an idea of what's already going on since he's probably been brought in from inception at some point. So
yep. Once the client decides they're going to buy the property,
right.
we take it in-house, get a working layout for them, and the very next thing we want to do is get it in front of whichever jurisdiction they're in, and that would be the pre-app.
Yeah.
And it's generally 3-4 sheets, and that's it. Once we get that submittal in, we get comments back.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the the preliminary engineering, gets a little more detailed, and we'll walk the client through this whole process. And then the ultimate goal is to get to that final engineering, get acceptance, and get it finalized.
Yeah, and that gives us the green light to start site work. And then on top of that, we're also working on building permits, which we can have running almost at the same time as your engineering, and we really try to streamline that process. So, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, as soon as the engineering is approved, if not prior to, we're already submitting for the cottages that are going to go on the site.
Yeah.
And we're already working on those designs behind the scenes, which boxes are going to fit, how they're going to be laid out, working them into the shop.
Yep. And we're in discussions with the jurisdictions during this whole time, and we're trying to figure out, when can we submit building permits? Can we submit them now? We try to really tighten that timeline. We have that trusted relationship with these jurisdictions as well. So yeah, when we're moving on to site work, of course we can't do it all, but we do have our relationships with our trusted subcontractors. And I know that Kendall definitely has a short list of people he likes to work with on these projects. And, we want to make sure the best subcontractors are being chosen for these projects, because not only is this our client's project, but it's also our project, and we are just as invested on its success.
Yeah, I mean, any of us that need to find out what's going on can just have that one point of contact. The client's asking, how's it going? What's happening on my site? You can call the project manager and get a pretty quick answer, and that's helpful. Puts the client at ease.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we choose these people because we trust them. We're responsible for the project, and we don't want to provide the customer with something that we wouldn't be proud of, that they wouldn't be proud of.
We want it to be as smooth and seamless for the client as possible.
Exactly.
So it's enjoyable.
Exactly.
It's good for all of us.
Yes. Something unique that we do here at Wolf is these cottage clusters that we have. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 cottage clusters in the works in the Clark County area. And I would definitely say the Wolf Industries is the leader of cottage clusters in this area. And we have this, I think it's because we have this unique ability to not only do all of this prep work, this pre-work in-house, but we also have the ability to build the houses in-house, which is a huge cost savings.
It truly is. We're leading the industry locally for sure. And it's hard to find any other cottage clusters in locally in our area. It's sort of a new concept, and Wolf is really taking the charge on that and leading the industry, so to speak.
Yeah, it's a very exciting concept because, as we're trying to increase housing, we have a bit of a housing crisis going on. These cottage clusters can be an answer to that. But I'd say the hardest barrier for builders is, the fact that you do have to subcontract out for everything. And Wolf is in this unique position where we can do it all in-house and we can keep those costs down. I mean, I think you can look at even apartment complexes that are considered, low income, and those are still very expensive. You're paying rents that most low income people wouldn't be able to pay.
Yeah, and ours so far have been able to rent or beat the prices for apartment living. And who would want to live in an apartment over a cottage? Right,
you get your own unit, your own space versus an attached structure.
Better sense of community for sure.
You want to touch on specifically the costs for the developers and why this is a new idea and why Wolf is in a unique position to fulfill that at that price point?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because I don't actually know how much. I know it costs more, and because I know that that's part of the reason why cottage clusters aren't happening in the area as much as I think the county expected. Because it does become very expensive, especially when you're having to have a separate firm do engineering, a separate firm do the building. Everybody wants their slice of the pie. And when it's all done by the same developer, the same builder. You really cut out those extra fees, those extra middlemen. But I don't really have like a cost. I don't have like an actual cost comparison to give you.
I know there's been similar cottage clusters in the sense that they're on their own lot, but it's been difficult, and we've seen issues to try to sell them. The price point is just far too high for people to afford for that type of build.
Yeah.
And so we've seen others struggle to sell and make a profit.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you might as well just be buying a single family residence on a lot, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of it's all the same. All your connections, all your streets, all your approaches, everything is still the same. Permitting, it's a huge price difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of them, I mean, most of them locally, if they're going to do cottages, it's stick built. So you're working through all the weather conditions, all the, from framing, plumbing, everything. Winter, snowing, whatever it is, you're trying to get contractors out there, and we all know that slows it down big time.
Yeah, we build all our houses in-house. They stay nice and dry.
We have happy workers because of it.
Yes, happy workers, happy houses.
Absolutely.
So we hope you've enjoyed this video. In this video, we've discussed things like, why you should choose Wolf Industries for your multi-unit projects, the amount of attention to detail and communication and clarity and confidence that we provide with each project that we are looking at, and also just kind of a brief overview of all the services you can expect to receive from Wolf Industries should you choose us for your multi-unit project, from engineering to permitting to planning to building to site work and project management. It's all here under one roof. Again, thanks for watching. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you are alerted every time a new video from Wolf Industries drops.